Okay, good morning everyone. I want to thank you for taking the time to be out on this. Today I'm going to leave the mic open because we're going to be talking about the marketing void. Before we get started, one of the things I really want the agents to understand is the power of myDREAMware and what it's doing for agents. Now, some of the things that we have seen, well, not only just agents, but really agents for their clients as well. But primarily, when we started, a lot of the guys were using, I guess they called calculators and conceptual tools, as well as the spreadsheets. And when you do that, it was very time consuming, and also, there wasn't a really good way to figure out what the best size or optimizing size for the policies was. And so when we got into this several months, we started getting stories of agents who started finding that they were doubling and tripling and even quadrupling the size of policies, which what that meant was for the client was that all of a sudden you had real power in this thing. And so instead of it taking 7, 8, 9 years to really gear up, all of a sudden you hit the ground running, your clients hit the ground running, and so they could pay off a bunch of debt, they'd liquidate some assets, they'd pay that down, they'd get the change in the headwind into tailwind, and all of a sudden they were really building up a good head of steam in their program. And so by understanding and optimizing the size of policies, you gave your client something that was exciting. And so not only was it exciting for them, but they were now telling other people. And so that's why it's important to utilize, understand myDREAMware and how you can optimize the policies so that your clients are excited about this. Also, when we added in staging, it gave you the ability to do multiple policies over 8 years. Our system will carry up to 4 policies, and so you can stagger them and really see what it can do. Now, Nelson talks about 100% of your income going through the policies. Nobody starts there. As a matter of fact, people start at if you're lucky, 5 to 10% of their income going into these things. If we set a goal of 25%, just think what that could do. But anyway, it gives your clients something that's very exciting, and also because you're building a system, you're not just selling a life insurance policy, you're building a system, and so your commissions get bigger because you've given them more power, you've sold policies that are bigger, and they're predisposed to buying a second and third and fourth policy down the road, and so you're building an entire system. And so I remember working with one agent, and we had started off at about $25,000. I ran a bunch of different analysis because the system gives you a chance to reset it and change parameters. By the time I got done, we were at $150,000 in annual premiums. And if I remember right, there was, other than the initial $150,000 to get started, there was no more out-of-pocket expense for this guy. So instead of a $25,000, which would get him on the road, all of a sudden we now had something that was not double or triple or quadruple, but 6 times. I think they ended up settling on $125,000 annual premiums, but this guy was a big-time, I guess, rancher or farmer, and so they had a lot of equipment, and cash flow was huge. And so we found out that. So would you rather have a commission on $25,000 or $125,000? Would your client rather have, a little Briggs & Stratton in their Ferrari, or a V8 that's producing about 500 or 600 horses? It's more exciting, and the more excitement we can create about the business, the better it'll be for you, the better it is for them, the better it is for the industry. So anyway, I just wanted to share some of the stories about what agents are doing and how it's giving us more excitement and more credibility in the industry. So today's topic is the marketing void. In the email I talked about consultants across the country categorically find that businesses, small business owners, and even independent like agents and chiropractors, all that, their number one struggle is with marketing. One, they don't understand it. Two, they don't understand why they should. I mean, everyone understands why they should do it. What they don't understand is how to do it and how to do it so that it doesn't chew up 90% of your day. So the opening statement here is, it's more important how we tell people what we do than what we do. Now let me repeat that, because this is so critical. It's more important how we tell people what we do than actually what we do. Now that doesn't make sense. You're going, no, what I do is more important. But let me just say one thing real quick. What can you think of that was a phenomenal success that you thought was an utterly ridiculous idea? Anyone? No ideas of what was I've got us unmuted, so if you've got an idea, throw that out. What was a phenomenal success that you thought was an utterly ridiculous idea? Anyone? Usually when I do this, people come back.
Silly putty.
Silly putty's a good one. How about this? The pet rock. Guys, it's a rock. And yet it was phenomenally successful. Why was it so successful? Because they understood marketing. It was more important how they told people what they had than what they had. The number two thing is that you need to understand what it is that sets you apart from every other life insurance agent. And if I had 10 agents standing in front of me right now, and you were one of them, why would I choose you? Typically, a lot of people you talk to, they already go, oh, I already have a life insurance agent, thank you very much. Right? They're not interested in working with you. So you have to break through that facade. Yes, they have a life insurance agent, but what makes you different than the typical life insurance agent? That's a question you have to answer. This is what's known as the unique selling proposition. It's what makes you different. It's like this guy with the in red with an attention sign over him while everybody else is bland. Now, it doesn't take a special personality type to get that kind of attention. It just has to do with you defining what makes you different than what everybody else does. The sooner you do that, the more quickly you will find that you're the one getting all the attention. Now, a lot of guys do this by seminars, by radio interviews, by TV interviews, by writing a book. All of those things set you apart from the average run-of-the-mill, everyday life insurance agent. You also need what we call the 30-second elevator pitch. And this is just one that you can use, and it kind of puts you kind of in a league of your own. Now, you guys are, because you all are using my system, you can say this with all authority. I've teamed up with the guy who invented or developed the algorithms that help people set up their own personal or private bank. How many other life insurance agents are saying that or can lay claim to that? Not a lot. I've teamed up with the guy who invented or developed the algorithms that help people set up their own personal or private bank. Another strategy is what's called the third-party release or deflection. It goes like this. Who do you know that might be interested in setting up their own personal or private bank and start recovering all of the interest they are paying to someone else? See what that does? It's not talking directly to that person. You're talking to a person, but you're not talking at them in a way that is trying to pull them in. There's no defense with this, what's called deflection. Who do you know that might be interested in setting up their own personal or private bank and start recovering all the interest they're paying to someone else? Well, usually it's going to be them, right? But they could be the person that they're thinking of. Now, it could also be Uncle Joe and, their brother-in-law, and the guy is at work. But, invariably it could very well be them, and this lets them off the hook with them putting them back into the equation without it being threatening, without their raising any defenses. Who do you know that might be interested in setting up their own personal private bank and start recovering all the interest they're paying to someone else? Well, it very well may be me. In the demographics, when you're looking at who it is you're speaking to, this is very critical. Most agents don't spend time figuring out who that is. Now, the typical answer is, who do I talk to? Everyone, right? That's too broad. In the marketing realm, it's just too broad. Now, if you have the outgoing type of personality where you can talk to anyone within a 3-foot radius of you at any time, you will probably be successful. Probably be very successful. It's called the 3-foot rule. If you can talk to anyone within 3 feet of you and you have that type of personality, then you'll be very successful. The problem is most of us don't have that type of personality. So ideally what you need to do is identify a market niche or a segment and then develop how you talk to them. When I was doing marketing, I was consulting with a gentleman who did networks, and come to find out there was a specific, he not even realizing what he'd done, he found that there were certain types of offices that he was very comfortable talking to. And of his existing client base, about 30% were all this existing same type of exact same office complex. And so we developed a marketing strategy for him to expand on that. Apparently he was very comfortable talking to those people. He understood what their problems were, and he had a very viable solution. So you need to identify a market segment and then develop how you talk to them. Now sometimes that can take a while. In the case of Mike Everett, he has really grown comfortable talking to chiropractors and ophthalmologists and optometrists, guys who are doing these recertification or continuing education courses. And so he's become very comfortable talking to them. He's very confident in IBC, and he's confident in his ability to explain it and then show them how it works. The 3 main segments are this. For the least amount of time spent for an agent, with the greatest return on that time is working with high net worth individuals. Now, most of us are not comfortable talking to high net worth individuals. Now, guys like Jim Oliver and Carl Rogers are. Those guys have closed multi-million-dollar annual premiums working with guys like that. It's not uncommon for both of them to write several $100,000 annual premiums. They're high net worth individuals, and they feel very comfortable. They understand what they're talking about. They have the confidence, and they can illustrate it. So it's the greatest return on the time. However, we don't all necessarily fit that category. We're not necessarily at the level of confidence that it takes. These high net worth individuals are people like doctors, dentists, chiropractors, optometrists, small business owners, any individuals with sizable cash flow amounts. So they've got a lot of cash flowing through their business or their income. So a lot of these are usually professionals. The segment 2 is what we call typical or average consumers who are not upside down or spending more than they make. Okay, now there's that. When you look at the bell curve, the high net worth individual is about, some would say it's the 1%ers, but let's say it's the top 10%. And this average consumer is probably about 60 to 70% of the population in America. All right? They're average consumers, they're not upside down, and they're not spending more than they make. The third segment is people who have high debt, little cash assets, and at least some discretionary income, which means that you're not going to write tens of thousands of dollars of policies on these guys, but you could write $200 and $300 a month premiums on them to get them started, and eventually, now for them, it's not going to be exciting. It's going to be 3 and 4 and 5 years out. So these are people who have to, when you talk to them, you have to get that across to them. This is a long-term proposition. It's not going to be exciting at first, but when you get down the road, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, then you start having enough cash in the system to be able to do some of the things that we talk about. And once they get a taste of that, then you started building a rapport with them and trust that they may start shifting some things. They're certainly going to change their mindset on the way they use cash. Okay, so those are the 3 segments. Now the last segment, which we're not even going to get into, is because those people who are high debt, little or no cash assets, and they have no discretionary income. In other words, they're upside down. They're living off of credit cards. Those people are not going to be someone you can work with, not until they understand they need to change the way that they handle their finances. Okay? To become an expert in your identified market niche, it typically takes about 1,000 hours of study. Now, I'm not talking about 1,000 hours of, all at one time I got to quit my job and for the next 6 months, 8 hours a day. It's just 1 hour a day. But if you did 1 hour a day for the next couple of years, in 3 years, 1,000 hours of study, you would start gaining in confidence, and my guess is that the more confidence you gain, the more time you will spend learning a specific niche. So 1,000 hours is what it typically takes to be an expert. Now, if you put in 100 hours, that's going to put you in a league of your own when you look at the life insurance agent in the industry. Most guys have not spent 100 hours studying any particular niche. So even as little as 100 hours, which is what? An hour a day, let's say it's 90 hours. So in 90 days, spending 1 hour a day looking in depth and understanding a niche market. Say you want to understand how to talk to dentists. Spend an hour a day studying the dental industry. Study what it is that are their fears. What is it they struggle with? What is it that what does their cash flow look like? How do they plan on retiring? All of those things come into play, and as you start studying, you become the expert. So when you get ready to go talk to a dentist, guess what? You have the knowledge, you have the comfort and confidence that you can talk to them about their industry, because why? You're an expert. So figure out what that niche is and start spending some time every day doing research. If you have to go to the library, go to the library. If you don't have a library card, they're free. Go get a library card and read up on, like I said, if it's a dentist, who are some of the pioneers in dentistry? Who are some of the pioneers in your city? Who is it that paved the way for new technologies or has set a standard and set, so if you were to go out and talk to 10 dentists, who do they all comment about as being the guy that they would all emulate in success in your town? It will reap huge rewards, both personally as well as financially, by becoming an expert in a niche. Now, don't just stop with one. Take on 2 or 3 and diversify. The use of tools that can automate many of the mundane tasks that will help you build relationships, and the educational information that can move people down the sales funnel. Now, these tools we're going to get into in a little bit. That's what our marketing strategies do. But you need tools so that you don't spend 90% of your day basically plotting through all this stuff that can be automated. All right? Those things are autoresponders, which are a series of emails. In our case, we have written 11 emails based on the best practices of internet marketing, how often they go out, how wide the columns are, the call to action. All of that stuff is already predetermined. We've already written those. To go out and get a copywriter to write you 11 emails would typically cost you somewhere between $3,000 and $10,000, depending on the quality or the level of expertise of that copywriter. Getting people into the system is another thing. That's why we have the TCR report, the Turbocharge Your Retirement report, invariably online, and I'm sure you've witnessed this and probably been sucked into it. They are willing to give you information in exchange for your information, your phone number, your name, your email address. Okay? In the TCR report, the Turbocharge Your Retirement report, we ask for their first and last name, their phone number, and their email address. In return, they get this Turbocharge Your Retirement report. Scheduling appointments. That should be quick and easy and simple, which I covered in the Contact Manager, the CRM system. So that's already part of what Advanced Agent Services offers you. Getting agents, clients into the Policy Manager. Once you have clients, you want to get them into the Policy Manager so that they can help manage a lot of the things that they're having you do right now, which frees up your time and lets you do more of what you do best, which should be A, studying to be the expert, and B, getting in front of the people that you're studying in that niche. Also, monthly newsletters and also referral systems. All automate that. Now, we have sent out one monthly newsletter to agents, and we haven't implemented a monthly newsletter to your clients yet, but we will be this year. And also a referral system, because referrals are absolutely, hands down, the best way to get a new client. They already, they're contacting you rather than you having to chase someone down. That warm list is just marvelous because there's already a certain level of trust. And so the referral system we're going to be working on, and we actually have done some work on it already, but we hope to have that implemented here in the next 6 months or so as well. And what that'll do is that'll coincide with the 1-year anniversary. And so as a coach, you'll go back to your client, and at the end of 1 year, if they're in the Policy Manager and you've done an analysis, you'll be able to see side by side, here's where you were, here's where you are, here's where you would have been had you not done the concept. Okay? So once they see, wow, this is working, they should be excited to give you names. Now, what we're going to do is do a 2-step video, one for them, explaining that obviously this is working for them, and then a place for them to give you, and this will go into your Contact Manager, a name and email address and or a phone number, depending on how much information they want to give us, but at least an email address that can send them a video explaining that it has worked for someone they know, and will have their name on it, and they'll be able to be excited about, oh, wow, Joe's already doing this. He's already seen good results. There's no obligation. Maybe I should talk to Riesel or Jim or Dwight. So they're already predisposed. We'll make that so it's very user-friendly, fun, and exciting. So that's really the marketing strategies. Okay. I'm going to do something real quick here. I'm going to mute everyone, and then we'll open this up at the end. Okay, this is the marketing strategies page, and what we have here is I worked with Mike. I ended up calling a bunch of his clients, existing clients, and found out what it was, how long it was that it took working with them, how long before they made decisions, one of the things that helped them make decisions, all of that. So we built in a number of things. One is the IBC designed strategy. So you have the IBC designed autoresponder series. What that looks like is, let's see if this is it. This is it. This is the list. Now this list is in an account that we use, and when you get the marketing strategy, we duplicate this and put this into your account so you have full access to it. You can change it, you can modify it, all that stuff. So let me see if I can get one here, pull one of these up. This is the three things I have. You guys should have probably gotten these. But here's what we have, some of the things we have. Can your imagination let IBC work? Do you have enough imagination? What's your ideal retirement plan? Why is this not coming up? All right, anyway, I'm going to go back to the strategies. So we've built 11 emails which go out. They go out every day for the first couple of weeks. Then they start repeating, so there's 10 of them, and then they repeat twice a week. Then it goes out to once every 7 days, then once every 14 days, then eventually number 11 goes out once a month for the last 6 or 7 months. So you're staying in front of them without having to do any work. Now these emails, there is a generic one, which is free, which when you sign up you get that automatically, but it doesn't have a call to action and it doesn't have your information in it. Second, we have the turbocharge your retirement report. Like I said, when you want to get someone in the system and onto the autoresponder, it's important to give them something of value. The way you do that is you get this turbocharge your retirement button, which is one line of code, and you can put this on your website, and it comes up with this form. They then put in their first name, last name, phone number, and email address, and I think the only thing that's required, I don't remember, I think both first and last name are required, phone isn't, but email is, and then you click send me the free report. If you were to do this, it puts it in our one of our demo accounts, and so you can play with that if you want and see what it gets. Then you will start getting the emails, all 11 of them. Now if you have it customized so that you have the marketing strategy, there's some things that we have that are in addition, so let me show you that. Next is the free report. Here's the report. Okay, this is a generic one. It's 3 pages. It gives you traditional retirement plans, IBC financial instrument. And so it's got a side-by-side comparison. The last page kind of asks some questions and gets them thinking. Now, if you had, let's see here, is this it? That's the generic one. Let me close that. Here is if you'll notice here at the bottom in the blue, you'll see in this case Vance's information, and once you get the marketing strategy, we put your information there, your name, your phone number, name of your company, website, and your email address. That's at the bottom of each page. Then the last page actually has, we put in a picture of you and then your bio and why they should use you. And again, pictures are great. Whenever you do something that's got a picture in it, it's more personable. We don't do business with businesses. We do business with people. So the more personal you can make this, the better. So this is what happens when we customize the turbocharge your retirement report. Everyone has this in their system once, even if you're just signed up for the free report, the free 30-day trial, you have this available. So I think in the getting started, I don't remember for sure, Harry can remind me, if you start it by putting in your own information here so you see what your client, and you experience what your clients will get. And like I said, most of you, when you signed up for your free trial, we put you into the default autoresponder. Go back here and pull this up again. There we go. So let's do, where was I? 3 things. So let's edit that. So anyway, what we have in these are designed not just, I mean, it's designed for entertainment, right? We like to be entertained. And so one of the things we have in here is H. Jackson Brown's. He has 21 suggestions, life suggestions. So anyway, he has, here's number 10, treat everyone you meet like you want to be treated. Now these aren't, you know, life-changing, but again, there's suggestions in there. It was interesting because we had someone contacted me one time about a series that I'd written. I think I was using these, and they said they were complaining that they were getting them. I said, well, then go to the bottom and unsubscribe. And they said, well, I like the suggestions. And so I said, well, then keep it. You know, so it was just one of those things where they liked this, and I think we had this, and then at the bottom we had a joke. And so we kind of sandwiched it in with a bunch of information. In here, we have the ability to customize it. In this case, I have an image, and let me see if I can pull that image up real quick just to show you guys. Here's the image that comes up in that email. It's better to look back on life and say, I can't believe I did that, than to look back and say, I wish I'd done that. So it kind of, again, it makes them think it's one of those things, the three things, it talks about a guy who interviewed 50 people over the age of 95, and that's, you know, that's a lot, a lot of years. And they invariably said there were three things, and you can read that in this email. It makes you think. And the number three thing that they all commented on was that at 95, it wasn't the number of successes that they'd had or how great the successes were. It wasn't even about the dismal failures or how catastrophic that failure was that nagged them the most. The thing that nagged them absolutely the most was the things they wish they had tried and didn't. And it's called, so it was labeled, we would risk more. And so what do people say about IBC? Boy, I wish I'd have known about this, 10 years ago. No one says, oh, I love this concept, I'll start it in 5 years from now, right? No, they want to get started now, because when is the most opportune time? You can't do anything about the past. You can only fix today and going forward. So a lot of these are written so that that's kind of what you get. Next, we have the report, and it's customized to you. We have the narrated emails. Now, I know you won't be able to hear this, but in here, if you go to this page and you click the play button, you'll have the gal that we did. We hired a gal from Australia that she does voiceovers, really pleasant voice, and it's got that beautiful Australian accent that so many people like. So we had her read or speak all of the emails. So in each one of these, at the top and at the bottom, there's actually a link here that you can click that and either download it or listen to it right then and there. So if someone's going, you know, I don't want to read all this, and normally you can read these in 60 to 90 seconds. They're not long. So most of the voiceovers are somewhere between 60 seconds and 2 minutes. Okay, there's a couple that are just a little over 2 minutes, but they're short. So anyway, that gives them the same thing. In the system, this will self-customize to the voiceover that you have, that we've done for you. And what we do is at the end, let's see if this one has, no, it's, where is it? The voiceover. This is part of the package that you get, this audios page. Now, in the emails, what happens is the link is to a specific place, and you can listen to or click it, and it will bring you and start that audio automatically. In them at the end, and again, I wish you could hear this. I don't know how to transfer that so that it, is there a way to do that, I wonder? See if there's on. Let me just switch this real quick. Now, somehow I got to figure out how to get that in. But at the end of it, there's a call to action. And so what it says, if you'll go out to back here to this page, I believe that call to action is here for you to hear. Essentially, it says, so in order to get your free detailed analysis, call Nicholas St. John. His number is, and it gives him that phone number. And then again, it reiterates it. Make that call today. Again, call Nicholas St. John at, and then it gives a phone number. And so it's customized to you with a call to action. Actually, it's a double call to action, so that if someone's listening to these or downloads them, because on the page you can actually download the entire group and get them to play on your iPhone or your Android, or whatever it is. And so you would they can click this, download it, and play them whenever they want, like when they're driving to work or something. So they'll still get the emails every day, but they can come in here and download or listen to any one of these that they want at any time. So that's the audios, and it's customized to you. We have her do the voiceover with your name and phone number with a call to action. Here's the report, the turbocharger retirement, and then the intake. When you get the marketing strategy, a couple of nice things is that we have developed code so you can put one line of code on your website. When you do, they get the turbocharger retirement report. So you get this. We have this, I think, blue and green, I believe. So it'll match most websites. And when they click on it on your website, it pops up the TCR report to give them. So you don't have to send them away from your website. You just put that on, and it comes up with the light box on your website, just like it does here. The getting started now is it pulls it up and pulls up the intake form right from your website. So now they can put in all of that information, and they can also finish it later and come back, but it sends it off, as we covered already in another tutorial, that it populates the database with it, and then when they come back in, it will refill all this information automatically as long as they're on the same computer they started that with. So even without sending them away from your site, you simply have the Get Started Now button. You put that on. Again, it's one line of code. If you don't do websites, usually you'll have a website guy that you're working with or webmaster, and they can just put this one line of code in where you want it. And so it's pretty easy. Again, it's self-contained. It's just one line of code here. All right. So that is, and this is on, and you get this because this is on your page where where we've created a folder for you on the Policy Manager. So then the last, and this, of course, this is a regret. So let's go back to this. Another easy way of getting people into the system is texting. Now, a lot of us don't use this, but it's very effective. This is what's called a QR code, and usually on your phone you'll have what's called a QR reader, and a QR code reader. And what you do is you turn that on, and you put it over where it frames that code, and it'll read that. And in that code is a link that's customized to you. And so what will happen is they do that, and it will automatically send off what's called an SMS text message to the system. Now, we use a third party for that, and so it goes off to that. When they click send, it goes in, pings them back saying that here's how you get your free report. And then you'll do that, and they can click on that link. It's designed, this Turbocharge Your Retirement Report is set up so that it's actually in, where was that? Right here. This is designed so it fits on your phone. So if someone does that from a phone, it's going to display this fine on their phone. Okay, so it's a QR code that is associated with it. You can put this on your business card. You can put it on flyers. If you do seminars, you can have it up on a big board. You can put it in a presentation. Mike has had a lot of fun with this because normally during presentations and seminars, they do what? Tell everyone, turn off your phone. And so about, I don't know, halfway through, he tells everyone to get out your phone, right? And then he goes ahead and talks, and then next thing you know, he goes, you'll want to do this. And so they can either read this code or they can text in whatever code word or keyword we have set for you to 82888. And so in this case, to test this so you can see how the system works, you can read this and or you can text IBC IBC assist to 82888, and that will put you in the system, return a thing so that you can then have the TCR report. Again, this is all built around our demo account. Next, again, I already covered this, but it's the intake form. You get this button, and it will pull up. It will pull up the same thing that they have through the emails and all that stuff. But the nice thing is you're talking to someone and you're on the phone and you go, hey, why don't you go to this website real quick, and you just send them to your home page, right? You have this button on the page, they click on it, they fill in their information. It's the exact same thing as if you sent them an email, all right? And then last but not least, I will hold with you a 1-hour marketing strategy phone session, and you will get the 11 marketing tips for local business owners. Again, we do business with people who own businesses, and so there's things you can do to get your name out there, to get branding, to get recognition, a couple of social media things, a couple of things on YouTube, and then of course business cards. One of the big mistakes on business cards is people don't put their face, they don't put their picture on there. And so there's just a few things like that, 11 tips that we use for local business owners, and it's very valuable. If you implement just a couple of them, you can get results. We've seen it over and over and over again. Altogether, this package, if you were to try to go out and hire a marketing strategist to do all of this for you, it could easily run you between $4,000 and $20,000 to have this done. We sell this package for $1,500. The $1,500, it covers all, you get all of this, and it takes us about, by the time we get all the stuff back and forth and the voiceover and everything, it takes us about 2 weeks to get that set up. Jim is asking, do we provide business cards? No, we don't, but we do have someone we work with here locally that does very fast turnaround, and they do them a lot cheaper in a lot of places I've seen. So if you want someone to do that, you know what, I'll have to get back to you on that because I'm not sure. I haven't talked to them about costs for business cards in a while, but I can get back to you on that. So let me go back here and unmute everyone and open up the phone lines. So if anybody has any questions about the marketing strategy, let's cover that first. Any questions on that?
Do we have a trial period if we don't like it? We get our money back?
No, there's no trial period on this. The marketing strategies are proven.
The software.
I'm sorry?
We had that with the software.
Well, you have the generic emails and all that stuff is already built into the system. So from that aspect, you can see it. You know, when we did this with Mike initially, and he started doing some of this stuff, it was funny because I had him put, you know, we're taught to sell the book, right? The book is not the deal. The information in the book is the deal. That's why I wrote these 11 emails that starts getting another modality of how they get the information into their head, because that's what's important. If they don't read the book, which we found out typically only about 3% of the people who buy a book read it. So if they buy the book, you also want to get them on the emails, because they may read or listen to these emails rather than reading the book. At least they have 10 pieces of information that they didn't have before. And again, they're written in a way that is proven internet marketing strategies that are very successful and convert very well. Plus, like I said, we put in a call to action, which is part of this marketing strategy. So there's a call to action that's personalized for you as an agent. Does this make sense about how you need to identify niches and have a unique selling proposition so it sets you apart from everyone else? Okay. Other questions about the system? Something else that I can answer while I have you guys here. I know we're getting close to the end of the hour, so yeah, go ahead.
Where's the button to access the different, like the web links and stuff like that? Because I already got this. I started with you long time ago. I was able to access it all.
That should be. Where was that? This, you should have a thing called ibutton.html on your. Let's see if it's there. I don't remember if should be there. Oh, I need to upgrade yours. So I'll get that upgraded for you so you'll have it. It does have the lines of code, both lines of code are here. It just doesn't have a demo for you to see what that looks like. But both lines of code are here. So it's /ibutton.html. So you can get these lines of code and put those straight into.
Right. And I need to get some other things updated. I'll talk to you after the webinar then.
Okay. All right, guys.